What's up, Robbie?
What up? Here we are.
Been a while.
It has been a while. It has been way too long.
You ain't kidding on that one.
So we've been meaning to do this for a few weeks, but I literally lost my voice. And it's not even 100%, as you could probably still hear. But I'm here.
Yep. That's crazy. So no other symptoms, just lost the voice and...
That was it. So I don't do good when the heater comes on.
Yep.
But also the day before I lost my voice, I thought it was the day before Christmas Eve. That's how long this has been going on.
Jesus.
And I was going to post a video of myself, a reel, singing Oh Holy Night. And you know what? I was actually doing pretty good. But it goes like this. It's like, fall on your knees, da 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 da. But then this one part comes up and it goes da da da. You know, so I'm not trying to sing it now because I don't want to lose my voice again.
So
but
that's how it definitely happened.
Well, I hit the note and my voice cracked in the middle of it, and I woke up the next day with no voice. But there had to have been more to it, like the heat or something, because I didn't expect for almost the better part of a month not to have a voice. And I was so nervous because, well, first of all, I do radio as like a living. So Radioradiox worldwide. And, you know, it's really hard to do that if you don't have a voice. I was struggling for a few days, and I was, usually I talk and I give a little bit of, it was just like, you just heard that and here's this. You know, I was getting through it, but then it got so bad. So I start at noon. And I end at 4 New York time. And I was halfway through the noon hour one day, and I just quit. Right? I was like, I'm done. I quit. I'll be back soon.
Jeez. So how far did that put you behind?
I didn't talk on the air for about a week. Still program the music, though.
Okay. So at least you were still able to get some shit done.
Yeah. But I drink a lot of seltzer, too. So that's one of my secrets. It's not such a secret anymore.
Seltzer cures laryngitis.
Yes, it does. It's been proven. 9 out of 10 doctors say so.
I trust them.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm not the one with a degree.
So this is cool. Usually I'm the one interviewing someone, so I'm going to try not to do that.
How different is that for you? Is it weird?
It is. It is rather weird. Most of the time that the situation occurred, it was with my band. But I am the front man for the band, so I still did most of the talking. But a lot, I realized from my band Smittix, by the way, Smittix.com is the thing. We are not really active. Key member had moved to Montana, and that was a couple of years ago, right after the pandemic hit. So we haven't been active, but we're still a band. We always will be. He comes into town, we'll do some reunion shows or something, but... there was a point behind that. So
it'll come.
When I was getting interviewed with my band, I noticed from watching or listening back to those interviews, and I felt really bad for the radio or the TV host or whoever it was, I would take over the interview. Not on purpose, just because like I've been doing this for about 35 years.
Yeah, so that's in your blood. That's totally...
So it's in the blood. So then I decided... when we started doing other interviews after the fact, that I would kind of shut up a little bit. Maybe my guys would take over, but no, they didn't. So
you had to keep the train going.
I had to keep it going.
Good. At least I know you're going to help me out if I blank out.
Yeah. So I mean, well, here's something right here. So here's a book by Rob Smittix. It's called "Let's Have a Conversation," and this book has names like Lisa Loeb, Macy Gray, Roxy from Vixen, Doug Gray. I mean, the list goes on. Ani DeFranco. These are all people that I interviewed, but it's called Let's Have a Conversation. So if I could give any advice, that's it. Just have a conversation.
That's it. Nothing forced.
And these are mostly all famous people. So if I'm interviewing, because I'll interview someone that just started a band last week, or I'll interview someone that's got multi-Grammys. So if it comes to the guy that just started out or is on the local scene, I will kind of dig in and try to find out about their music and about their history and stuff like that. Never ask who your influences are. That is a rookie move. Don't do it.
I totally didn't have that on my list.
Yeah.
I actually didn't.
But
Thank God.
but for the well-known musicians, and I say musicians because it's usually music, but I'll interview somebody. Like I interviewed Michael Carbonaro from the Carbonaro Effect.
Okay.
That magician from that TV show. But I don't, if it's about music especially, first of all, I have no prepared questions. I don't go to their Wikipedia page and try to learn everything. I don't really watch other interviews that they did. And this is what most people do. And maybe you should do your homework, but it's just me because I don't want to have the same interview that everyone else is doing. I don't want to talk about what they can find on your Wikipedia page.
Exactly.
Or, if it's somebody that's been around for 50 years, like people already know that story.
Right.
No, I want to find out like, I heard you're a really good cook, or Pat Travers, right? I interviewed Pat Travers. He's a guitar legend. I did not want to talk about music at all. Why would I? That's what he always talks about. But I found out that Pat Travers was like a 3rd-degree black belt. So that's what we talked about. Yeah.
I did not know that.
He's called the Drunken Ninja Master, which is a movie, I'm sure.
Are you coming to that show on the 7th?
7th of February?
Yes, February 7th. Pat Travers is going to be in Saratoga. And my band, Ginger Jesus, we're going to be going open up for them. It's going to be a party. If you haven't got your ticket, it's sold out, but I might be able to make some magic happen.
Yeah, I'm sure I can get in.
Yeah, we know. For sure.
Well, I haven't bought concert tickets in a really long time. Decades.
It's a good feeling.
And, it is a good feeling. But I will sometimes. I'll have the local bands, and I think they're funny and cute, but I'm not going to start there. They'll send me a message and like, hey, come to this show. And I'm like, maybe if I can make it. And they're like, all right, well, we got tickets. And I'm just like, I don't do that.
Yeah. I'll let everybody else know, but I'm not buying one.
And it's not like I'm beyond buying tickets or anything like that. But first of all, we are a ground up operation here. So if I had to pay for every show that I went to, I mean, you're already buying drinks and doing that kind of stuff when you're there. So you are spending money. But with the amount that I am required to go out, I would go broke. I wouldn't be able to go to any of these things.
No, absolutely not.
So, but I also pride myself on not having to buy tickets to concerts. And I'm going to try to keep that going for as long as I can.
Yeah, I don't blame you there, especially now. It's like ticket prices definitely went up from 10 years ago. They just keep climbing depending on where you go.
It's ridiculous. Now, I also, when I go to concerts and shows, I take a different objective view and try to monitor what's going on at this show. And I try to look at it from the perspective of someone who invested in this time period, someone that paid money to actually get into an event. And a lot of times I see people that put on the show, promoters, sometimes venues, bands that put on shows. A lot of times they're not taking into consideration what the end product is going to be for the patron, for the person that paid physical money and their experience to go there. And I think that's something that should be looked into.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what I mean by that is I'm not going to say who or what shows, and everyone's my friend, and I get along with everyone, and I support everyone, but I didn't even pay to get into these shows. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking at it like, damn, would I have spent, $50 or whatever it was to get into an event that started at 6:00 p.m. There were like 7 or 8 bands, They all sounded kind of the same
On a Monday.
on a Monday. And then the main band, the big band, the famous band, the one that they were all opening up for, comes on at friggin' midnight and then announces that we have a good hour and a half in us.
Honestly, no matter what band it is, even if it's one of my favorite bands, I got about an hour in me.
Yeah.
And after that, I'm kind of like ready for something different, ready to kind of get out. Or yeah, some of the people play a little too long.
45 minutes is
Yeah.
that is the G spot.
Yep.
Right there. That's the best set length no matter what band you are. 45 minutes is it, man.
Right. Even at like people who play like 3-hour gigs, at the bars or private parties, well, besides the private parties, maybe the bars, it's different people filtering in and out for that
different.
reason.
That's
After an hour,
right.
it's kind of you want to change the pace, change the scenery, and get up, do something else. I don't blame them. That's the sweet spot. 45 to an hour. I think.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, it sure is. As you can see though, my voice is not perfect yet. I got to keep with the liquids.
Got to keep flushing it down.
Got to keep lubed up.
You want to tell them who this is to my left? We got an alien friend in here.
To your left is Al the alien, the mascot of Experience Monthly and Radioradiox. And the whole thing came about because Radioradiox used to be a radio station called the X. And it was on the FM. We had a tower. I wasn't even a part of it yet, but it was awesome. It was just great. I didn't even know that Art Fredette, the guy behind all of this, was even. I knew who Art was. I worked with Art in the past at other radio stations, but I didn't even know he was behind it. I just stumbled on it, and I was like, "This is the greatest commercial radio station I've ever heard," and it ended up being what is Radioradiox. So. Anyway, we don't need a tower anymore. We are just internet radio, and we've been around for about 7 years. And as Art says, it took 7 years to become an overnight success because we are actually getting a lot of traffic. We have a lot of listeners worldwide on the radio there, and I forgot even if you asked a question, but maybe that answered it. No, you asked about Al. So Al, the reason Al came about was because when Art originally started this radio station, someone in the music scene, I'm not going to name who, but kind of hurt his feelings a little bit, I would think, but he's tough-skinned. But they said something like, oh, you got this little pirate hobby radio station or something, Well, what do they call FM and AM radio now that satellite came out? They call it terrestrial radio. So we decided that we were extraterrestrial, and that's where the alien came from.
And you'll see him. You'll see Al dressed on many different occasions. In this case, Christmas. He's still in his little Christmas outfit there.
So this is the December issue, obviously. Do you catch the reference? Do you know what that is a reference to?
Trying to put it together.
It's a SNL sketch.
Okay.
That dude from Brooklyn 99, whatever, or Brooklyn, that TV show, Brooklyn 9, that kind
I know where, yeah.
That one, that guy's name, I forgot his name, and Justin Timberlake. So this is a reference to Dick in a Box. So as you see, he's freehanding it here. So what's in that box there, Alex?
I can only imagine an alien penis.
Yeah, that's the one thing. But we got away with it because aliens actually don't have any utensils. Fun fact. But that's
now that you said that, I remember every blow-up doll that everybody had of those old aliens. Yeah, there was never anything there.
Yeah.
How do they reproduce each other?
They have ways. It's probably telepathically.
We'll probably find out in a year when they come.
Oh, they're here. They're already here, but they haven't all made themselves known yet. But that is a good question. How do they have babies? And I'm wondering, because I think everything that they do is telepathically. I could probably just look at a woman telepathically and be like, I'd like to impregnate her, and boom, there it is.
Then just the beams come out of the eyes, and it just becomes a baby.
Beams are coming out of somewhere.
I wonder if it's quicker than 9 months, too, like we have here.
Oh, right. It's expedited. It's like 3 days.
It's 24-hour service.
Yeah. So what's your take on the UFO, UAP, alien situation, drones, all that stuff?
I believe, in the words of Conor McGregor, we're fooked.
Well,
I think they're here. I think they've been here. And yeah, I think we're about to see some crazy stuff in the next year. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Maybe they'll wait one more year if they're nice. I don't know. I don't know what their intentions are either. I mean, could be good, could be bad, right?
well, here's the thing. I have some inside information on some of this stuff. Kind of like in the know when it comes to this, but I don't know everything. But what I do know is that some of that stuff man-made. Is it, what's the word when they find
Refurbed.
like a refurbished UAP, UFO as they call them, and is it something like that? Yes, there are man-made ones. Lockheed Skunk Works.
Yep.
Are some of them actually extraterrestrial? Yes, they are. Are these aliens from other planets? Maybe. Are they interdimensional? Definitely. And the orbs that have been really common right now, I think that they're alive. Could they be angels? Could they be something of that nature? Yes. But yeah, I'm totally under the impression that the orbs are alive.
So I heard a crazy theory, and I want to hear what you think about this. So they say when we spot these UFOs or we think they're aliens, that it's actually us coming back from the future to check on ourselves or watch the past.
I think that is also a very good possibility.
It's pretty badass, right?
So, well, here's the thing. How does time exist in different dimensions and realms compared to what's going on now? I don't know. But these things, to me, are interdimensional. How would you time travel? Probably interdimensional, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't know, but because I pay attention and I'm in the know, the Trump assassination attempt, the one where it grazed his ear, there was a UFO in the sky. There was
I never saw that.
Yeah.
Really?
I could show it to you. Yeah, it exists. You could find it. If you try to track it down, it was buried in the news, of course. For one, maybe they didn't want you to know. For two, an assassination attempt on a former and now current president just occurred. So they were really focused on that and not the UFO, but
it was there.
It was there.
It was real.
And that made me think that's probably a time traveler, because here's a significant date in history. Here's something that's going to be in our history books, hundreds of years from now.
Oh, yeah.
So they were just like, this is going to happen now. Let's just appear and kind of check it out.
This was probably this was probably in the future. It was probably them coming back with their kids doing like a go back in the past essay, and they wanted to see the real thing for themselves.
They were doing a
exactly
homework assignment. That's the thing, yeah.
It's like the Magic School Bus. She's bringing all the kids back.
Google in the year 3000, when kids are doing homework, they just travel back in time,
right?
To get a good history lesson.
I'm sorry, Al. I really hope you have brothers and sisters out there, and I hope this isn't true. But I mean, that would be cool too, knowing that we got to that progress. Being able to go back in time. I think that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I do think that
Dangerous,
might be,
but sweet.
I do think that might be a possibility. But what I do know for a fact is that interdimensional in different realms, whether a realm and interdimensions, they might all be the same thing, right? But I know that for a fact. Now, the other thing I think about is when we do retrievals, just like there was just a video released, I don't know if you saw it, but they said disclosure, new information was supposed to come out in these last few weeks.
I think I did see this.
And it has been coming out, but it hasn't really been hitting hard. You kind of got to search for it or stumble upon it. But a helicopter pilot who was in the retrieval program, who retrieved lots of different UFOs or whatever, he took a video when he was flying the airplane when he retrieved an egg-shaped UFO.
Where?
He didn't disclose that, and he didn't tell us where it went. There's certain things, obviously, they can't say. But
oh, shit.
So we saw this for ourselves, and this was like the newest, biggest leak. Then and right after that came, there was somebody on Reddit, I think it might have been an anonymous thing, but a very similar retrieval video also hit. So we're getting that stuff, but why would a UFO ever crash? Now you think of people think, oh, maybe these come from other planets. No way. No way they have this technology to come through a wormhole or whatever, because that's
3 million miles in light years.
I mean, that you could do it, though, if you got warp zones, right? So
yeah, like wormholes. And
so I'm assuming there's like warp zones to get to different places, wormholes and stuff. But if they have the technology to get here unscathed, and then they go through Earth's atmosphere and they're just like, oh, crap, we didn't figure out how to land. No way. So
yeah, I'm with that.
But there have been crashes. Roswell's one of them. So how did it happen? I think that's the interdimensional part. I think a little gash comes into the sky and opens up, and they're like, oh, shit. Psh.
Zipper opens, they just come in, close
like,
back up.
They were like, we didn't think we were going to be this close. Psh. They had no time to think. I think that's the only way a crash would happen.
I'm also thinking if they could travel at the speeds that they say they can, or, break into the atmosphere and crash, wouldn't it be unbreakable or repairable?
Yeah.
Some kind of thing behind it where you couldn't hit the ground, or you get to the ground and it gives you at least some kind of room where you don't have impact. I would think if they can get here, they got pretty advanced stuff.
I would say so, but I think we're really in for it this year, and I think that we're going to see more and more. I mean, I think that I filmed a UFO.
Oh yes, if you go to his page, he's got one that he filmed.
You go to right here on the YouTube channel. It's here. So if you search for it, I filmed a UFO. Now, I've seen strange things in the sky beforehand. Never got anything on video because it was before the days that we had these phones with cameras in our pocket.
Yep.
But they say once you see them more. And this was the craziest thing I've ever seen. I mean, literally, it was 9 craft that turned into 3, and they disappeared. So, but afterwards, standing right out here, talking to the neighbor upstairs, and I'm looking over his shoulder, and I saw one of those Tic Tac UFOs. I'm on the draw. I'm ready. I'm like in a, those.
Was it daytime, nighttime?
Daytime.
So it was just like colors on it. It was just what it looked like.
It looked like a white Tic Tac, but it was so fast. Like I said, I'm like in one of those Western movies, man. I'm ready to like have a showdown.
Yep.
But I pulled it out too quick. Did not get a shot of it. I was on my way to Tulip Fest. And I was walking because I wasn't driving because I knew I was going to be drinking. I had a blast, but I didn't do any drinking or any psychedelics or anything yet. And I'm walking because I was going to hop on the bus. And up in the sky, I saw a flying saucer. Again, quick in the draw, Wild Wild West style, way too quick. But it literally went from like here into a cloud. There was no other clouds around, so I'm just like waiting. I waited like 20 minutes.
You waiting for it to come out the other side?
Never came out anywhere.
Holy shit.
And
that's the real deal.
And then a couple of weeks ago, I picked up my son, and we're driving on 787. And this is where I wish I had a dash cam. Because first of all, again, being way too quick for the draw, but also I'm driving. But my son was in the passenger seat. We both witnessed this together. Big white light. I'm talking like, got to be like I estimate it because they say planes are usually like 30,000 feet in the sky, right?
Yep. Yeah,
so I
30,
estimated it
35.
like that. This thing was like opened up the sky, big white light. It fell down like within a second, like all 30,000 feet to maybe 50 feet off the ground.
Wow.
And as it fell down, it shrunk. It went from being really big to like smaller, and then it just shot off.
And that was it.
That was
Never
it.
came back.
Nope.
What do you guys think about this? That's some pretty crazy shit.
So I told my son, I said, welcome to the club, son. You ever seen anything?
I'm trying to think. Just lights. I mean, different lights going up and down. Definitely recently I've been seeing a lot of like the orb lights that you're saying, like, and for a second when I'm driving I'll think they're staying in the same spot, and then it just shoots to the right, stays there for a minute, and no movement, no spinning.
Yeah.
There was one case where one went behind the cloud, kept creeping back, and I'll put the video on here if I find it. It was pretty creepy though, but lately, definitely a lot more. I predict they're coming back on the 4th of July when we already got lights in the sky from fireworks.
Well, here's the thing. So I got this UFO video right on this YouTube channel. So find it, check it out, because it's very special. But it's not going to be special for long, because every single person, I think, on the face of the planet pretty soon is going to look up, and you're all going to see them. And I know a lot of people are like, they always say, oh, I can't wait. I really want this to happen. Oh, it's about time. Disclosure. I don't know, man. Careful what you wish for.
Could be AI versus aliens.
The whole thing could be AI. Who knows?
They were warning us with the Terminator. That was just the beginning. Got AI, and now we got aliens on top of that. Al, we hope you're friendly. We hope your parents are as well. So where can they find that? Is that on the No MSG TV?
Yeah, right
channel?
here. No MSG TV. So that's here. So, yeah, I just really think that we need to be careful about what we wish for and what we hope for. And it's going to come no matter what. But, man, I think...
But are we prepared?
No, there's no way we're going to be prepared. And we can get past the fact of like, oh, they don't look human, or maybe they look like the aliens on The Simpsons where they're really just ugly, or they look like octopi or something like that. But we can get past all of that. The thing is, not just the way that they look, but it's going to change the course of belief systems in reality. In religion is one of the biggest things that people say that it's going to blow your mind. The world's going to be shook. And I know that through people in the disclosure community, like Dr. Stephen Greer, he said himself that the biggest shock is not going to be the aliens. It's going to be like the religious, the spiritual part of the whole thing.
Yeah, I definitely believe that, because all the the higher powers and everything we believed in, the pyramids, it all comes down to maybe something bigger than that. Maybe yeah.
Well, the
That's
pyramids,
an interesting piece of advice.
the Sphinx, the hieroglyphics. It doesn't take a mathematician to do addition,
Puma
subtraction, multiplication of fractions, or division. It's all a numbers game that we play on a regular basis. In the faces of your mirror lies a murderer. Temptation is a temptress, but all you never heard of her. Does Jezebel ring a bell? She's casting spells like a sorceress. So if you're fortunate, protect your fucking fortress. There must be more to this. Of course there is. It's torturous. Sometimes you just got to do it.
So he is a rapper too.
Yeah, that's actually how I started in all of this.
So that came before radio.
Came before everything.
Okay. So what was the first project?
Well, going way back, first rap song I ever wrote was in 1987. I was probably like 10 years old. Wasn't very good. I was really into the rap when it came out. That really old school stuff is part of like what I was growing up in. But then, I don't know, I didn't really like the direction that rap was going too much. So kind of got into like everybody was into, Headbangers Ball and the heavy metal and stuff like that back then, which a lot of that they wouldn't even call heavy metal anymore. But so I got into that. But then that really kind of got cheesy. Got into my parents' record collections. Got into my grandfather's record collections. But speaking of records, I also got myself 2 turntables and a microphone. And I was like 13 years old, grew up in the hood, had the turntables, was doing the scratching. Back then, you would go to the record stores. You'd always have to buy 2 of the same record if you were going to try to do the really good mixes. People that do the mixes, they know that, spending all that money. And that's how I got started. So I was rapping. I was a kid in the neighborhood with the turntables. People would come over. They'd rap with me. Gangs were really on the rise at that time. And long story short, I had some troubles. I transferred because of gangs to the country to get out of the hood and to live. And I hated it so much because I'm a city boy and that's what I'm about. So my dad, he knew it was kind of like hurting my feelings. So he played a little bit. So we set up a music studio, and I was writing all sorts of hip hop mostly, but whatever really worked. And my dad and I wrote a jingle for Snapple, and Snapple.
No shit.
Yeah. Snapple bought it, and I became an international commercial. I don't know. It was international. And for 7 years, I got royalty checks. And they started out really big. It's funny how royalty checks work. I don't know if you ever got them.
Nope.
But the first one is always the big one. So I think it was like 6,000. Next one was like 5. They kept going out 4,000, 3,000. Then you're getting into the hundreds. Then you're getting into the 20s, 25. I think my last check was for like 35 cents.
So they knock on your door and they give you the big check. Is that how it works? How is that?
They just send it to the mail. The old-fashioned way.
Okay.
And I bought a Camaro, and I was still in high school. And so now I have this international commercial, and they had phone books back in the day, and Doug Daniels and Maria Chambers from WEQX found out that this kid from Albany wrote a Snapple commercial, and they tracked me down. So next thing you know, I'm on the telephone with WEQX, and they're interviewing me. And then on the spot, I did a rap about EQX.
Just like freestyle on
And
there?
Yeah, because I didn't know they were calling me. I didn't even know this was going to happen. So yeah, I was just like, oh, because I listened to EQX. And so I made up an EQX rap on the spot. And then Doug Daniels says to me, he says, what are you going to do? Because I was still like a junior in high school. And I was like, man, I don't really know, He was like, well, why don't you get into radio? And I was like, never really dawned on me. And he was like, well, you actually have an international radio commercial, so you...
Might as well at that point.
Well, he was also pointing out, like, I actually am in radio. I just didn't realize it because I thought it was just music, And then I was like, oh, cool. So I graduated high school early. I went to the New School of Radio and Television. I wish that place was still around.
And where's that?
It was in Albany. The New School was actually open until like a year or so ago. Phenomenal. Just great. And they had job placement, which is really cool.
It's helpful.
So they told me to pick which radio station I wanted to work at. And I ended up interning for like 2 weeks. And then they hired me. So now I'm working at the Edge. And so now I'm working at the Edge. I'm producing occasionally Howard Stern locally. The local, how would they call it? The local Edge. That was, I think that's what they call it.
Local Edge.
Co-produced that. Did a lot of stuff. Jason Keller and I, if you know him from WEQX, actually, we started on the exact same day. which was cool. So we kind of teamed up, became really good friends. And then I went to 1300 AM. I had a talk show. I was 18 years old, and I had a 4-hour talk show.
That's a long time.
Yeah. I thought it was, but after you get into the mode and you have all these guests, and first of all, you have commercials to play, you had the news at the top of the hour, you know.
So you got those little breaks in between.
You got those little breaks. I also realized after my first show that I over-prepared, and never do that again, because you have a 4-hour show and you over-prepare, kind of like what we were talking about before. Like,
yep.
You just spit out all your information.
You'll run it out like
right away.
30 minutes.
Then what are you going to talk about for 3.5 hours or whatever? So I became program director of that station. I was with Mason and Sheehan, co-producing with them. When they left, I took over the morning show. When that station turned into Kiss 102.3, I was like, I want nothing to do with this pop bull crap. So then they sent me over to another station. Had the biggest radio show in town. We were in like 26 states.
Wow.
And
that's a good area.
Yeah.
Area.
When we said we had 1 million listeners, we did like have 1 million listeners.
It's a good amount of people.
That show was really big. And then some things happened. Howard Stern went to Sirius and made radio really hard. The FCC started cracking down. Also, I worked at 93.7 too with Wayne Perry doing the Mad Radio show. But after that, Howard Stern messed everything up for all of us, except for Wayne Perry, actually. Howard Stern helped him become a millionaire. But, yeah. So that's kind of how I got into doing radio. Then I had to get a real job because when I was on the air here, I trashed all the other stations on air because it was hilarious. Like I never really gave a shit. You know what I mean? So
that's what stands you out from the others. Speak your mind.
So then it was like I was getting job offers in San Bernardino and Cleveland and stuff. And I'm like, I can't uproot my family for my dream. So I got a real job for a while. And then I heard about Radioradiox, and Ralph Renna actually worked here at the time, and he brought me in, and here I am.
Nice shout out to Ralph. 93.9 Waby.
Baby.
Waby, baby. So we got some cool events coming up. I know one of the big ones coming up in March that you and Art are going to be hosting is the Listen Up Awards.
Yes, we do. Listen Up Awards. But Spectrum's calling me, so let's see what they have to say.
Speaker it.
Hello. This is an automated message from Spectrum about an important change in the status of your account. This call may be recorded for quality and security purposes. Para español, marque cinco.
Oh, yeah.
I'm pulling up your information. If I'm speaking with Robert O'Donnell, please press 1. If they're available to come to the phone, we'd like to inform you that your account is past due. To avoid future collections activity, you'll need to pay.
Anyway, fuck you, Spectrum.
I thought they were going to have something better than that, or it was going to be a live person. These damn robots, man.
Well, there's a reason that my Spectrum bill is, because I told them I'm never paying it.
If I can, really quick. If anybody works for Spectrum out there, tell them to stop slowing the damn thing when you have $5.
Yeah.
It's bullshit.
I got a lot of friends, though, that still work for Spectrum, so I do like you guys. Just hate your company.
Yeah. I'll notice every time, like, you got 2 days left until the bill is due, they start slowing it down. It's like there's a dude on the other side who just takes the lever every time you're using it and just pulls it back. That's all I imagine. Don't do that. Wait till the due date.
They call me after I pay my bill for like a whole nother day. Harassment at its finest. They call me more than anyone. So anyway, we were talking about more than just Spectrum. Yeah, you were asking about the
Listen Up Awards.
2025 New Scotland Spirits Listen Up Awards to be held on my birthday, March 23rd, 3 p.m. at the Cahoes Music Hall, which is right next door to our studios here. And, Mirth Films is helping out with this. Radioradiox Experience Monthly. It's going to be great. We have... there's always performers there, and the only way that you could ever perform is you got to win. the previous year. I don't know if you knew that.
I actually didn't.
So you're nominated this year, which gives you a possibility, if you win, to possibly perform next year.
That makes me very excited.
Yes.
All right. I hope that happens.
This year, we have, it's really cool, different groups that we got. We got DJ Good Life, going to be opening up the thing, just spinning and doing what he does. We got The Hauntings. We just announced the Donna Tritico band I'll be playing as well. And we didn't announce yet, but I'm going to tell you, because if you're watching, you deserve it. But MBSD is going to be the other band that will be playing. Nice. All winners from 2024.
Excellent. That's going to be a hell of a show.
And right now we're in the process where you can vote. So vote early, vote often, vote like a dead person in Troy.
Share it up. Tell your friends, tell your family, get on there, help these bands out. Definitely appreciate all of it. And yeah, I do play for a band called Ginger Jesus, so go do a vote.
Mm-hmm.
Or a few, or like 100, whatever you want.
Well, that's the thing. This is a people's choice, your vote, your choice sort of thing. It was really just... So I actually came up with this idea with a friend coming back from another award show. And we were like, man, that was boring. Man, that was stuffy. Man, that was boring. So we came up with this idea. Originally, I mean, the whole thing was supposed to be a spoof, the whole entire thing. We wanted to give out bowling trophies, just old stuff and not take any of it seriously. Till this day, I still think, personally, I think that all the categories should be superlatives. We do have a few, like most likely to fall off stage, most likely to owe the club money, best hair and makeup, that sort of thing. But, we do have, favorite rock and roll and, rap and hip hop and jazz. And Actually, we eliminated jazz, but that's because you
jazz
guys
was on last year?
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys need to learn how to support each other.
Very true. So how much can they get tickets at the music hall, or can you get them online?
They will be available shortly. I don't know if they went on sale yet.
Okay.
But the box office would have them, and we'll find out about the tickets. It's going to sell out, so we're not really trying to rush the sellout before all the announcements are made. But yeah, just keep in mind it's supposed to be fun. We've been saying it's like the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards, and other award shows could be more like the Grammys, but we don't take it serious at all. And last year, after some people won and then other people lost, I've seen some crybabies in the crowd, and I was like, grow up, man.
Yeah, support each other.
Support each other, congratulate the others for winning, and remember, it's not that serious. We even been saying, like, you don't have to dress up, wear whatever the hell you want. You can wear your favorite band t-shirt. We're just there to drink beer and hand out plaques.
Exactly. Just be there, enjoy the vibe, network, talk with some friends, have some fun, get some drinks. It's going to be a great time.
Networking is one of the key things to this event.
Yep.
So if you're in a band and you want to meet some people, different people to play out with, and, you might find like-minded people and people that kind of play the same style. But I don't know about you, but we were talking about like set times and stuff before. Like 45 minutes is like the best set time.
Yep.
You're not overdoing it. You leave them wanting more. But also when it comes to booking shows, at least me personally, I love to see a mix genre show. You don't see enough of these, but that really breaks it up, man. Imagine going to see like some smooth. Oh, no, not smooth jazz, because smooth jazz is the worst. Imagine going and see some real jazz and seeing, a rapper right after that, and then seeing a rock and roll band.
I've been seeing that a lot. I've been seeing a lot of metal shows bringing on rappers. I think it's awesome. I've been seeing like the bills have been so mixed lately. And you used to kind of get that at like Big Day Out or some of the festivals they did.
Yeah.
But not to that extent, not that different of genre. But I think it kind of gets everybody together, and some people like show up to those shows and you don't even know you like that genre until you might see somebody perform and You know, it kind of opens the doors, I think. I think it's great.
I think that's a cool way to do. I don't know how long we've talked because I feel like we just have a good flowing conversation. But
I'm going to look at the camera quick and see how long it's been. What's your guess?
27 minutes I'm just 27 minutes.
27? Going 31.
Ding, 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 ding. And the winner is...
We were so fucking wrong. 45 minutes.
No way.
45 minutes.
Well, there you go.
Holy shit.
I knew it felt out. There was a lot I had to say. I had to get a lot off my chest. So,
All right, we like to hear it, man.
So is there anything else that you'd want to know about me?
I got a few funny questions.
Oh, yeah?
Let's see. So let's learn one of Rob Smittix's pet peeves. What's a big pet peeve you got?
I think the thing I hate the most is, and this actually still is occurring with me on a daily basis. You know when, like, you see somebody, and I'm not just talking about somebody on the street, and you say hello, and you get nothing back. I'm talking about, like, a coworker or someone that you see on a regular basis. Shout out to Cindy, by the way, who I used to work with at a radio station. She was my first example of this. I would say hi to Cindy every day, and I would just get nothing. She was one of the suits, you know what I mean? And I had to remind her I was the talent. But no, I just hate that. It's like you're too good to say hello, good afternoon, good morning. So then I make a point to say it more and to be more like, good morning, Cindy, you know? Well, there's this girl that I see every day. I don't know her, but I see her every day. Like we cross paths, you know, out there. And so I say hello, get nothing, man. That drives me nuts. Like,
that's bullshit.
What's the deal?
It's funny you say that because a couple weeks ago I was at Sturt's. And,
Sturt's.
Yeah.
Stewart's.
Sturt's. And the lady behind the counter, I got somebody in front of me. I'm getting up to the counter, and she's talking to that lady fine, like she knew her for years. I get up to the counter. She starts talking to the person behind me. And then they're done talking, and then she goes and looks at her coworker and starts talking. She didn't say anything like, hello, how you doing? Like, you got 5 seconds with me to say, hello, how are you? And then that's it. Go talk to who you want to.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no.
That drives me
say
nuts.
Hello.
That drives me nuts. Also, Cindy, just so you know those sodas that you had in the fridge every day that had your name on them, and they would disappear? I only did that because you were such a bitch.
There you go. No soda for you.
You're welcome.
Meanie.
She deserved it.
Hey. So my next question. Most hated song live. This is the Q&A, by the way. So we got 5 questions.
I don't know.
You ever like gone somewhere and you keep hearing that one song live that you just can't stand?
I guess it would be Roadhouse Blues.
Okay.
And I started hating it live because we covered it. And everyone covered it. And I'm like, it's a good song. It's a classic song. We should immediately stop playing it. And I think a lot of other people should too.
All right. Fair enough.
Yeah.
You might have done this already. Your dream interview.
Yeah. I think I blew my load already. But my dream interview was actually, I don't know, it sounds kind of, I don't know, say dream sounds kind of weird, but the dude I wanted to interview the most was Dave Gutter. From the Rustic Overtones, from Paranoid Social Club, from Armies, from Beards, from Aaron Neville's album or that soundtrack or whatever it was that he won the Grammy for. And Dave, the Rustic Overtones have been my all-time favorite band since I first saw them at Valentine's in like 1994 with me and like 2 other people. And I was like, holy shit, these guys just blew me away. And I bought Long Division, that album. I went home. This back in the days where you get the album and you just go through and you read through the lyrics and
yeah, they got the little booklet that comes out of the clear
booklet,
thing.
the album art, and really got familiarized with Dave's like writing. And I don't know if you hear any of that influence in any of my writing, but you never ask about influences, but he was a big influence on me. So I told him when I interviewed him that it was a big deal to me because his music and their band's music actually changed my life. And when you get to have music actually change your life, so that meant more to me than like interviewing like Paul McCartney or something.
No shit. That's a good one. That's a cool story, man.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And so when I interviewed him, he told me that he was nominated for this Grammy, and he ended up winning. And it was for Aaron Neville. And Aaron Neville didn't show up at the Grammys, so I thought it was so cool. Dave Gutter got to bring his daughter as his date. She was like 16 years old. I always made this joke. I don't know if it's true or not, but I always assumed their parents, like Dave and his ex-wife or something, had her. So the parents were divorced. So like mom brought her to Disney World, but he brought her to the Grammys, so he wins.
All right.
And but no, Dave got to actually talk. So here's a guy that did the songwriting, but if Aaron Neville was there, Aaron would have been on the microphone. Dave got to actually get on the microphone.
That's badass.
So that was kind of cool. I was proud of him.
Nice. You got a favorite stage moment? I think I saw you post something the other day on Facebook. It was a cool moment of something going on with the stage. I won't blow the story unless you got a better one than that, but that seemed to be your favorite stage moment.
God, I did some hallucinogen since then. But I know I was mentioning some things that were really cool that happened on stage, but I don't know. I think sharing the stage with some of my favorite musicians always was kind of cool. So I mentioned Dave Gutter. Well, my band technically opened up for Paranoid Social Club at one point in time. I say technically because it was this big festival, so we were like 10 bands behind them, but it was the same stage.
They could have been watching you.
They weren't, but they could have been. But we played with the Toasters. My favorite ska band of all time is the Slackers. We played with them. Played with Reeves Gabrels before in a project that he had, Jeebus. So that was pretty cool. Played with Will Wood and the Tapeworms. Just that some of these were my all-time favorites, the groups I listened to the most. So like, just share the stage with them. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, I haven't done that with my favorite bands yet, but I can imagine that feeling. Just you're all there at the same moment, setting up, sound checking, doing the same thing, and you're all there living the moment. That's really cool.
Actually, maybe this was what you're referring to. I'm not sure, but it wasn't my band, but my favorite on-stage moment ever would have been when NoFX.
This is the one.
It is?
Yep.
Yeah, NoFX brought me up on stage in Montebello, Quebec, Amnesia Rock Fest 2014. I was hanging out with the guys all day, but it was before they hit the stage. I was smoking a lot of cigarettes with El Jefe's wife, and we were hanging out. So I had all access. The only pass I didn't have was performer because I wasn't performing. And she starts going up on the stage, and she was like, "Come on up." And I'm like, "I don't have that pass." She goes, "You're with us." And I was standing on the stage. Man. It was literally me, El Jefe's wife, and Travis Barker, and a bunch of other people. I don't know who the hell they were. And I'm looking out at what looks like 1 million people. That was awesome, man. That was the best.
That's a once in a lifetime moment right there.
Yeah, I would say so. I would say so. That was really cool. And yeah, I mean, I come to the conclusion. I mean, I'll never perform in front of that many people, but at least I got to see what it looks like.
Yeah, how's that feel? How's it look like? That's got to be crazy.
Well, there were 1 million people in town that day. And I'd say about 1/4 of that million was actually in the show, and the rest were just out in town. So it looked like I looked It looked like 1 million people.
That's insane. You
It
see
was-
it on TV, but I'm sure there ain't nothing like walking on and just
No.
seeing that for yourself,
No.
especially with those guys behind you.
It was ridiculous. And it was cool. Like, NoFX actually took the time, every band member individually, to listen to some of my music, which I thought was cool.
That's fucking awesome, man. This guy's had a great life. And he's still got a full life ahead of him.
Yeah.
What's going to come next?
Well, I think the aliens are going to intercept, and we'll see what happens from there. But honestly, I think the most important thing right now is to get right with yourself, to get right with, I don't know if you want to call it God or the universe. I'm not religious at all, but there is more to this.
Higher power, if you will.
Higher power, if you will. But get right with it. You know what you need to change. You know how you can improve, and you know what you have to do to achieve it. And at least you got to try, because it's a spiritual war going on right now. It's a war of the mind. And I don't get down with politics either way. I think you're all stupid. So, but yeah, just work on yourself. I think would be the most important thing I could mention for people to do.
Yeah. Better yourself every day and learn from the previous day. Every day is chapter 1, really.
That's right. Absolutely.
So one more question. I think this is the most important question I've ever asked anybody.
That's a lot of pressure.
Pineapple on pizza or no?
100%. Dude, yeah. Hell yeah.
Oh, man.
Dude,
I thought you were going to be on my side with this.
have you tried it?
Yeah, I just can't do it. But somebody said something the other day, and I'll give it to them. I'm not for the pineapple and ham, and I'm not for just pineapple, but pineapple and bacon. I would try that.
You should.
I still won't like it. I'll probably end up taking the pineapple off, but I still, how can you hate something if you haven't tried it? You know what I mean?
Do you generally like pineapple to begin with?
I love it by itself or, in a cocktail.
No, I think Hawaiian-style pizza's excellent. And I think that people that hate on it should at least try it before they hate it. Then, once you hate it, just like I always say, at least you tried it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like my wife. She hates sushi, but she ain't ever had it. So,
I just had some fire sushi today.
love it. It's the best, but, at least give it a shot.
Exactly. Well, there you have it. Rob Smittix.
Yes.
That was a great time. Great conversation. Great energy. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for joining in on episode 2 of On the Record podcast. We'll catch you later.
The pleasure was all mine.
Later.
Peace.
Nice.